So I'd like to highlight one of the study tools that's provided by the publisher, and since you pay for it, you might as well learn a little bit about it. So if you go to the bottom of the home page, there's this thing here that says Textbook Publisher's website. You just click on that. I fixed the link, by the way. It used to not work. It'll take you to MyMicrobiologyPlace, and I think you can get there by going to MyMicrobiologyPlace.com. And it doesn't take very long to register. To register, you just click on register, and you need the little access code. So, okay, you gotta press accept, enter your information, and then if you look inside your textbook on the second physical page, so when you open the cover and flip one more page, it'll have a little access code, looks something like this, and you can paste that in there or copy it in there, and then you can get access to the book. Now, if you don't have the access code, or if you didn't buy a textbook, or if you bought a used textbook, you can buy access, and you can buy access to just MyCrobiologyPlace or MyCrobiologyPlace with the textbook, and I'll show you what that entails. So when you click on, once you've registered, you click on login, find your textbook, and this is our textbook. Cover will be different for some of you, but it's Microbiology by Tortora, 10th edition. Open that up, and then a separate window will show, and it'll take you to your MyCrobiologyPlace. Okay, so just really quickly, some of the tools that they have over here are the various chapters. So let's start with chapter 1, and then it looks something like this, and it starts you off with a little pre-test, and it kind of shows you what you know, what you don't know, and then it'll personalize, so to speak, your study plan based on what you know and what you don't know. You can listen to MP3 tutoring sessions. So here's one called The Big Ideas of Chapter 1, and it has it written, so you can follow along if you like to see it for those visual verbal learners, and it has it in sound.
Pearson welcomes you to MP3 tutor sessions for microbiology. Introduction and history of
bacteria. Others may think of viruses. Well, microbes include more than just these two groups.
I can't find the words on here, but it's on there somewhere. You can also download, I guess, the complete set. You can download the MP3 if you want to put it onto your MP3 player. It's up to you. And again, this is nice for the auditory learners, and it gives you nice overviews of all the chapters. Some of the other tools that they have. Let's go back. I guess once you're going through chapter 1 or whatever chapter it is that you have, you can go and test yourself. And these are post quizzes, multiple choice, fill in the blanks type of stuff. And it's a nice way to test yourself and essentially work on the same material but in a different context, right? So rather than always reading the lecture notes, always reading the text, you go to the exact same material but in a quiz type format or in a test type format. And again, working with the same material presented to you differently. You'll notice though that some of the material that they test you on is not anything that we covered, because we don't cover every single part of the textbook. If there's certain questions that deals with material that seem unfamiliar to you or you don't think have been covered, they probably weren't covered. So you can just ignore any of that stuff. Another thing I want to point out is these study tools. And the study tools are really neat, and especially the flashcards. And a lot of you are flashcards type of people. And these flashcards are handy, and I like this tool because of the flexibility of the flashcards. So you can choose how you want to build your deck. So let's have a unit review of Module 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can view the cards by term or definition. Right? So let's do it by term, the standard way. Click on Go On. Now they made my deck of flashcards, 319 of them. It shows you the term, and you can hear the term.
Porins.
And by clicking on the card, it flips it over, and now you see the definition. And I like it this way also because you can see the definition on the same page as the term. If you get bored of your deck, next, to go to the next one, you get to see everything. If you get bored of your deck, you can shuffle it, and then it'll change everything around. So now let's say you get to substrate, and the substrate is any compound with which the enzyme reacts. You've seen this term 3 times already. You're comfortable with the term substrate. You know how to use substrate in a sentence. You can remove it. So now next time you go through through the deck, you don't have to read the same terms. Like, oh, I've read this one already. So essentially now what you can do is trim down your deck to just the ones that you require. So you're not always seeing the same terms. Now you're just practicing the ones that you are having troubles with, so to speak. Other terms like tetrad, for example, we're not going to cover. No, I don't think we are. We might. But there are various terms that come up that we don't cover. Ionization, for example. Let's see. Steroid. Your energy level. We're definitely not going to cover energy level. Okay. We don't go into a lot of details again. So you see something like this, say to yourself, I don't think we covered this, so remove it. And now you're going to customize your deck to just the terms that we are working with. And if you like, you can print your flashcards. So now you have a nice little something you can take with you portably. Drawed questions are nice too, because I'm a active or a kinesthetic type of learner. I like to do things as well as being a visual nonverbal learner. So by drawed questions allow you to apply what you're learning in picture form, right? Visual, verbal style, and you're also doing something. Again, unfortunately, we don't really talk about Pasteur's experiment too much, or this one. But some of the ones that you can go through here, if it's things that we've seen, okay, let's see if we can do it. This one here, for example, chapter 4, draw each of the flagellar arrangements. That's something you can do, right? So you draw yourself a cell, draw a Lophotrichus cell versus a Monotrichus, etc., etc. The last thing I want to talk about is the e-text. So you click on e-text. Oh, I encourage you, by the way, to click on all these various things with the animations and the micro flicks. The flicks are really cool. These 3D animations of various things in microbiology. Concept maps. If you're a concept map type of person, then concept maps are really cool because you can build your own concept map using various terms that they give you. But like I said, I want to show the e-text before I run out of time. So by clicking on the e-text, if you bought the textbook, you get this e-text with your code. If you buy the e-text or the access with the textbook, you will get this. If you buy just the access code for micro without the e-text, you won't have this option. So you just click on the text, second page will open up, and then your textbook will load. And I just want to point out some neat things about the e-text, especially if this is the way you choose to go. So first and foremost, there's the way you can view it. So you can fit width is the default, or you can fit page and you can see the whole page. On the left side over here are the table of contents, and they break it into groups, or the major sections: fundamentals versus survey. And let's go to chapter 3. No, chapter 2. Click on the chapter, and then the chapter opens, right? So if you don't like this view, then you can go to fit width and read it more closely. So it's got your textbook, looks exactly like your textbook. Over here, advance the page. And the neat thing about this is everything is hyperlinked. So here's a molecule that's in the glossary. I don't know what a molecule is. Well, there it is. That's what a molecule is. You can highlight. Oops. Okay, you can add little notes. So let's say you want to add a little note. Something like that. Good for the project. I know I spelled that wrong, but I'm running out of time. To read your note, you just double click it. You can highlight whatever it is that you want, and you can even hide the highlights afterwards. You can search for terms if you're looking for, let's say, maybe tetanus or tuberculosis. You can even bookmark the page. If you bookmark it, it'll show up there. And if you go on the left side over here, the notes will show you all the notes that you've left. I have a note on page 2, a note on page 27, so it'll take you to them. Bookmarks will show you which pages you bookmarked. Okay, so I'm almost out of time. I think I've shown you the basics. Go ahead, snoop around, see what you can see, and get familiar with this resource, which again comes with the textbook as something you've paid for.